Today, I would like to review the book The New Trading for a Living by Dr. Alexander Elder. The New Trading for a Living is one of the most comprehensive books on trading. It is authored by Dr. Elder in 2014, who practices psychiatry and is an extremely well known trading coach and trader. He came to the United States from USSR in his late teens, and he has been extremely successful in his trading and psychiatry business in the United States. This book is an updated and improvised version of the bestseller Trading for a Living, which was published in 1993 and has been topping as a best-selling trading book. So this particular book it covers various aspects of trading, ranging from psychology, which is individual and mass psychology, discipline, trading systems and tools, risk management, and trade management. So moving on, so in the chapter on psychology has contents on both individual and mass psychology, and it's a very good primer on the behavioral finance. There are certain pitfalls which are explicitly mentioned, such as the undercapitalization myth, autopilot myth, and the cult personality myth. So each of these is a separate type of myth which is told by traders to keep themselves hopeful. So undercapitalization myth is a myth. Like for example, a trader might feel that if he had more money, he would perform better. The autopilot myth essentially means that there could be a software program or a holy grail program which a trader is always searching, so which automatically makes money for the trader without much effort or dedication. The cult personality myth is that myth where a trader looks for a stock guru or a specific person who promises to teach certain aspects of trading, which will make millions. But all these are pitfalls as per Dr. Elder. There is also a chapter on self destructiveness. So, since traders are prone to self sabotage and gambling, this particular section in the chapter is very important. And there are also specific trading lessons from AA, which is Alcoholics Anonymous, which is a large self help group around the world to help alcoholics overcome their addiction and problems associated with the alcohol addiction. So, same as per Dr. Elder, same principles which help alcoholics can help unsuccessful traders, and attending an AA meeting could be an eye opener for most traders. And in this particular chapter, there are also sections on psychology of price trends, such as rallies and declines. So, moving on, there is also a section on classical chart analysis, which can be very helpful and acts as a very good primer on classic chart analysis. So, the most important things covered here are bar charts and the Japanese candlesticks. There is also an important aspect on support and resistance, and also the use of trading stops. So, for example, if a particular stock is approaching its support and moving up, it makes sense to move your protective stop in the direction of the in the direction of the price. And there are also chapters on trends and trading ranges, which are again classic chart techniques. The author also stresses the importance of selecting time frames for chart analysis and confirming trends. And then moving on, there are a lot of indicators about on the from the technical analysis perspective. The first and most important and basic indicators are the trend following indicators such as moving averages, accumulation distribution, MACD, which is the moving average convergence divergence. The author stresses the fact that most of these trend following indicators are lagging indicators. That means you can't use them to identify reversals or turn or so, and coming back to the oscillators such as stochastic, RSI, William percentage, R, etc., these can potentially help in identifying turning points, which the trend following indicators are not capable of. But however, the oscillators have some disadvantages, such as they can give premature buy or sell signals as well. So they quickly tend to become overbought or oversold. There are also chapters on miscellaneous indicators such as a new low index, put call ratio, etc. The author stresses the importance of combining the indicators, so which he calls it as the triple screen trading method, which we will see in the upcoming slides. So moving on, so to the next important aspect of the book, the volume and time. So author stresses the importance of volume in confirming trends. So usually a high volume with a high new high confirms a sustained rally, and similarly a new low and a very low volume can be a very good buying opportunity. But on the contrary, a new low on high volumes means that another low is around the corner. So it's too early to enter then. So similarly, the trend continuation with shrinking volumes can act as a warning sign, and it potentially means that it's time to take some money off the table. And the author also talks about certain indicators on volume, such as on balance volume (OBV), which can act as a leading indicator. So moving on, let us see what is the triple screen trading system which Dr. Elder has come up with, and he has been using this system since 1985. There are three test or screens that are applied to every trade. So this system combines trend following indicators on long term charts along with counter trend oscillators on intermediate charts. So trend following indicators are profitable in trending markets, while they might not work in ranges. On the other hand, oscillators will be very helpful in ranges. So the triple screen system is designed to filter out the disadvantages of each of these indicators while retaining the strength. So to make it simple, the first screen would be a market tide, which is use a weekly chart and use trend following indicators. And the second screen would be that of a market wave, use a daily chart and use oscillators. And the third screen is the entry technique. So to understand what this means, for instance, if the weekly trend is up and daily trend is up, the action is to stand aside. That means don't act on this particular setup. If the weekly trend is up, daily trend is down, and there is an exponential moving average penetration on the ups or an upside breakout, then it's time to go long. Similarly, when the weekly trend is down and daily trend is down, it's time to not no, it's not the time to act. However, if weekly trend is down and daily trend is up, it might be a good idea to short, provided that there is a EMA penetration or an upside or a downside breakout. So moving on, there is also a chapter on risk management. So which there is a 2% rule which prohibits risking more than 2% of your capital on a single trade. The author also talks about the iron triangle of risk control. That is, identify a dollar amount which you are comfortable to risk on a single trade, and also see if it is less than your 2% of the capital, and arrive at the maximum number of shares. So this doesn't mean that you should trade in this many number of shares. This just means that this is the maximum number of shares you should be buying or selling at that particular price point. Then there is also a 6% rule which prohibits opening new trades for the rest of the month if the sum total of all losses and losses from all the open trades reaches 6% of your capital. So this particular aspect on risk management is extremely important and is meant as a survival tactic. So moving on, there are chapters on profits and stop losses. So the author says that position trades are those trades which are held for few months or years, while swing trades are those which you hold for a few days to months, and day trades are for minutes to hours. So you should never intermix these. So a day trade should never become a swing trade, and vice versa. And also, a position trade is a long-term view, a trade with a long-term view. So so the author mainly is a swing trader, so he suggests using moving averages and channels for swing trades, supports and resistance for position trades. That means when to take out your profit or loss, and then oscillators for the day trades. So the author also suggests placing the stops outside the zone of market noise. So how you determine the market noise can again be a very interesting thing. There are some suggestions given by the author on how to determine the market noise. And also, it's a good idea not to place stops at obvious levels such as round numbers. So it's a very well known fact that such stops rarely tend to work. And there are also certain rules like never let a winning trade turn into a loss. So moving on, the very important chapter on the book also talks about good record keeping. So good record keeping will also teach you about yourself, and it's one of the best tools for maintaining and developing your self discipline. So it should also be supplemented with a daily homework where you can look at the markets, about market behavior and certain macroeconomic indicators. And reviewing every trade after a month or two after your exit is a great learning experience. So hence the author recommends keeping a trading diary and reviewing at least once a month. So to conclude, this book is one of the most comprehensive books on trading, and it's not a very easy book to read, but it's a very good book to pick and choose a particular chapter and study deeply. So it is best to study this along with the New Trading for a Living study guide, so which is a supplement of this book and available separately. So this is one of the best books which can enable even a beginner to get the nuts and bolts of trading. Of course, no one can become a trader after reading this book, but definitely it provides a solid foundation. And the best thing about this book is the importance on self-discipline, risk control, and good record keeping. So this is my view of this book. Thank you for watching till the end.